Thank you for joining me today. As the official spokesperson on behalf of Killeen ISD and the Board of Trustees, we have decided to join the lawsuit against TEA on accountability. In my leadership journey, I have been part of TEAMS, TAX, STAR, NCLB, AYP, ESSA. I have been a champion of STAR, and I still publicly applaud the work by educators to increase the rigor in how we teach and assess our students. I love that we can disaggregate data by demographic and subpopulations. This allows the system to understand the key work that needs to improve and for whom. Accountability has never been a problem to me. Since STAR, which is over 10 years ago, we have continued to build the capacity of staff to help students meet standards all across the great state of Texas. Accountability is complex, it is unyielding, and keeping up with the ever-changing accountability system is and will continue to be exhausting. This is the second time ever in my career I have felt deflated and disheartened by the decisions at TEA, who made a leadership choice to change the test and the accountability system in the same year. I applaud the movement towards rigorous expectations, but with that said, and while the pandemic is over for some, the pandemic afterburn is still alive and well with our families, our students, and our teachers. We do worry about the social and emotional health of our students. We always have, we always will, and we do so even more now. Our families and our staff, we do so now, we always have, and we will forever do that, and we do more now. We have a significant resource deficit with no end in sight as the public profession of education continues to be a career that only the most noble will consider and join. Regardless, changing the test, the cut scores, and not providing ample time to consume and digest those changes is simply unjust. It is unjust for our staff, for our students, and for our communities. In particular, these changes are inherently harmful to all districts in Texas, but they are even more so to large majority minority systems like mine, Killeen ISD. I stand with our board and with my community of parents and students and with our teachers in moving forward with challenging TEA with this lawsuit. I'm going to use an example from our own district of what this meant. Cut scores in what they call CCMR, which is the College and Career Readiness Score. Killeen High School in the year of 2022 had a raw score determined by the state of Texas with their calculations that was equal to a 47. It converted at that time to a 70. In 2023, a year later, less than a year later, they improved their raw score from a 4.7 to a 6.7, 20 points. Incredible efforts by Killeen High School staff. That raw score converted to a 72 on the new scale. That raw score is a D. That's unacceptable. I stand with our teachers. I stand with the staff. I stand with this community. We still have a right to a free public education in our country. Let's keep it that way. Thank you.
Other questions? Yes. So by joining the lawsuit, do you believe that it'll put a quote-unquote target on your back for the district, or do you see any drawbacks by joining them?
You know, that's a great question, and thank you for asking it. Potentially, yes. And I'm actually okay with that. I want our system to be accountable because who are we really accountable to? We're accountable to students and our families, and that's it, number one, right? And if that draws attention to our district, then great. Maybe someone can help us get better. We applaud that. We're not running from that. We just want desperately to understand the changes before they're made. We want the playbook, right? We want to know the rules for the game. And it's nothing like dressing up to go to a basketball game or basketball practice when you're actually entering a soccer game.
Next question. What would be the ultimate goal walking away from this? What's the ideal situation?
I think the ideal situation for us is just to slow down TEA and give us time to digest and consume changes so that we can plan accordingly for our students and our populations that we serve.
Madeline?
Yesterday, the TEA released a statement that they are pushing back their, release of the scores. Has that affected your stance on the lawsuit at all?
Absolutely not. Because we still don't know what the rules are, right? They still haven't published the accountability manual. We don't know what proposed changes they're willing to come off or not come off of. What we do know is there's a statement in the letter about the only review of accountability that they're looking at is the growth measures, okay? The hardest hit that districts took in Texas was the CCMR score. I mean, all of our campuses improved dramatically at KISD, dramatically, and yet they all saw drops in performance levels. It's a random, arbitrary number. I doubt that's about increasing rigor. That is about increasing the standard of expectation, and I get that. But give us time to meet those expectations, and don't tell us after the game's already been played, because that data is 2 years ago.
Jessica?
Do you know who you are hiring for legal counsel?
We are actually moving forward with Thompson and Horton.
Any other questions? KCN?
What exactly would it cost to join this?
There is a cost. It's $1 per child with a cap at $25,000. So for Killeen ISD moving forward, it'll be $25,000. In the event that the lawsuit doesn't move in the direction that we think it could, all additional funds that are left over will be returned to the districts.
Okay. Questions? Any other questions? Jessica?
What message do you have for your students and their parents?
Hang on. We can do this. Si se puede. I mean, we're improving. Our teachers are doing a fabulous job in a time like no other in our country. And let's stay the course. Let's be accountable. Let's be accountable to each other. Let's hold our students, our staff to high expectations, but let's do it in a way that we maintain our dignity in our community with education.
Does the size of your district concern you at all as you head forward with the law?
Not at all.
Any final questions?
One final question, just to put you in TEA's shoes a little bit. If a KISD student sued the district to prevent their report card from coming out, how would the district react?
I believe we have situations like that all the time where we get challenged all the time by our parents, and those challenges are welcome. Sometimes the child is right. Sometimes the parent's right. Sometimes the district's right. We find out through those processes. And all of it is in the effort to have a continuous cycle of improvement, right? Like if we don't know what our blind spots are, then we can't improve them. Sometimes those things encourage us to look at our blind spots and turn that mirror in front of you to look at yourself. We want that. We want to do what's right for our kids. But I also want our community to not be considered a failing district because of some arbitrary numbers set by TEA.
How do you feel as a bigger district backing the smaller districts in this lawsuit, such as Academy ISD?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I really haven't thought about that one too much, but I would say the more people in general, more districts that increase the number of students that are involved in this, right, is the greater the pressure, right? I know that TEA had planned to do a 5-year refresh, right? They want to increase rigor in the system. I'm all for that. I haven't met an educator yet that's not all for setting standards high for students and setting standards high for teachers. So I would think that it helps support their efforts, and their efforts support ours as a big district.